Hi, stylists. We are going to discuss the rank of executive director on the Color Street new enhanced compensation plan, which is effective April 1st of 2022. This rank does look a little different on our new plan. If you'd like to take a look at our earnings statement as well as our key terms, feel free to pause and take a look. And then we're going to get right into the executive director rank, because at this level, I feel like you all are pretty confident about our key terms to include what we mean by capped group volume. If you still need some help clarifying capped group volume, please don't hesitate to reach out to one of your upline leaders, or even better, if you could just search the word capped in our team pages. There are plenty of threads and trainings that help clarify what we mean by capped group volume. So the executive director map is pretty big, so we had to put it on the next slide. However, as you can see, we still require 300 in PV for you to be qualified at this level, as well as 120,000 in cap group volume. You'll need 4 leader legs, which again is the maximum amount of leader legs that are required at any stage of our new compensation plan. As we've mentioned before, there are certainly benefits to going beyond 4 legs of leaders. However, there's never a time in this plan where you have to have more than 4. So we can get into those benefits as they become applicable, or if you have any questions, don't hesitate to let us know. But for now, this is what's required, which, as we've mentioned before, is 1 leader 2 ranks behind you and 3 leaders 5 ranks behind you, or up to 5 ranks behind you. So they can be a team leader or above for these 3, and this senior director leg can be a senior director or above. Again, we have a fun little checkbox here. If you want to print these slides, we have them uploaded to the files section of the Team Fancy Fingers team page. And that way you could use those corresponding materials as you go through your own trainings with your team, or mapping, or coaching calls, whatever you might have. Executive director map looks a little like this. So this is going to be a little easier for us to discuss what we mean by generation bonuses here. I think you guys are pretty familiar with level bonuses, and you can read what you earn when you were paid as an executive director in any certain month. So the senior director in this example, you need 1 senior director or above leg. Again, these are bare minimum requirements. Oftentimes, in order to achieve 120,000 in capped group volume, it's going to require a little bit more depth and or width within each of these 4 legs, or even width of your own. If you have 5th, 6th, 7th, and beyond leader legs, then that's where you're going to see the benefit in helping to balance your capped group volume requirement. So in this specific scenario, this senior director would be, again, generations are based on a senior team leader or above. So this senior director would be our generation 1. And this senior team leader here would be a generation 2. In this example, there is no 3rd generation senior team leader. And that's because based on the ranks required to achieve executive director, there's no requirement to have a senior team leader that's deep enough in the lineage to be a generation 3. So it could happen, and if it does, this is how you would be affected as the generations continue to promote within your lineage structure. But for now, we're going to look at senior director here being Gen 1, senior team leader here being Gen 2. And again, that's because they're in the same leg, which in this scenario is your strongest leg. So the senior director would, as an executive director, you would receive a 4% override on the total team volume uncapped of your senior director leg outside of the strongest senior team leader leg. So this generation 1, this total volume, whatever it is, you would receive a 4% additional bonus on that entire volume. Okay. And then you would receive 3% override, which means you would receive 3% bonus on all of the volume of the Generation 2 senior team leader or above here. All right, so there's no Gen 3 or 4 in this example, but if, for example, the senior team builder went on to promote to senior team leader, they would be a Generation 3, and you would make 2%, as you can see, on their entire volume outside of, the senior team leader's other remaining volume here. So that's how generations are calculated. They are a very powerful tool in maximizing any compensation plan. And again, it's not based on capped group volume. It's just based on volume within that generation. And additionally, that bonus is on top of all of your level bonuses that you receive here. So 8% for level 1, 6% for level 2, and so on and so forth. What I like about this plan is that, there's so many different strategies that you could use to build your lineage, neither right or wrong, because this plan really does afford for tremendous flexibility within it. How you build is completely up to you. And there are certainly advantages to going beyond the minimum requirement for all of these levels, because as you can see, you only really need 4 levels deep at a minimum to achieve this rank, but you could be paid out on a 5th level. Additionally, you only need 2 generations deep in order to qualify, but you could be paid out on up to 4 here at the executive director level. So most of you at this level are pretty advanced in your strategy and how you think about the compensation plan and how you calculate it. But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Like always, at these higher ranks, I would encourage you to print rank maps for each one of these legs individually and map them out, because these big executive and above rank maps can be really intense to look at. They can get a little confusing when you're talking about such big organizations with varying degrees of volume, capped group volume, legs, etc. So my opinion is that it's best to break it out by leg and do 4 different maps for the 4 strongest legs that you have to achieve this level. Okay, keeping in mind that the team leader does not have to be direct to you. It could be level 4, level 5, whatever. You can just only count 1 promotion from each leg, and you can count the strongest promotion from each leg. So even though you don't need these levels, you have the ability to be paid out additional bonuses on those levels. We're going to put out some great generation bonus trainings and materials. If you want to search the team pages for Gen or Generation Override or whatever you want to do to try to find these materials, and we will continue to try to clarify how this is all calculated. But seeing it on paper is going to be imperative to helping you understand how and why you're paid for certain accomplishments within each rank. Similarly, at this level, you've got this amazing senior director or above leg, and you're probably doing coaching calls with them and helping them to support their growing, thriving organization here. So I would also advise this leader to be rank mapping for their 4 legs. And then as an executive director, you have the ability to kind of come back through, check their work, make sure that everything is calculated properly and looks correct. And then of course, you can also double check your work by cross-referencing with the button in the virtual office that tells you what you need next, and just making sure that the parameters set there are aligning with what you've calculated here with each of your 4 strong legs. So this, honestly, at this level and above, there's only so much to talk about, because as you can see, everything here is built on the levels that we've discussed prior in this training series of each rank. We're also going to go back through and discuss the roles and responsibilities of each level. But for now, this is just a great way to start globally looking at how different this structure can be and how flexible it can be. It requires a lot less people in specific places doing specific behaviors, but there is an increased capped group volume requirement, which really just allows us to get back to the basics, focus on globally selling and increasing our sales as an organization, and ensuring that we have enough balance outside of one strong leg to achieve the levels of cap group volume required. So again, I'll go back here. If you guys have any questions about this, if you need any clarification, let us know. Otherwise, I think you guys are pretty competent when it comes to the breakdown of each of these levels. And if you need to go back and rewatch the videos for each of these levels, I definitely encourage you to do so. Additionally, at this level, it is very fair for you to be having coaching calls with these different leader legs and to give them a little homework. So it's totally appropriate for you as an executive director to, schedule a coaching call with an up and coming team leader leg and have the expectation that they have watched the team leader or senior team leader training, depending on where they're at. And then, that you would also have them make an attempt to fill out their own rank map. I think rank mapping is one of the most important skill sets you can have in this industry, in this particular business, so that you can really see how and why you're making money on different, achievements. So then when this team leader comes to their coaching call with you, you're doing less teaching things based on materials that are already out there for them to review and resources that we've already created, and you can spend more of your time strategizing together. And I think that is one of the coolest parts of being a leader. So again, if you guys need anything else, don't hesitate to let us know. I'm super excited about the flexibility of this plan, and I'm excited to see all the creative ways that we come together to globally increase our volumes as an organization. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the other side.